Anaba Wines is the culmination of a 40-year dream. We didn't begin this with a guy who had enough money just to start a winery. What we had was a poor guy 35 years ago who also wanted to start a winery, and his wife told him, maybe we should wait. And so we waited, and so 25 years later, the dream came true. There were a group of us in the 1970s who just fell in love with the French wine and food culture. We would study winemaking, we made wine at home, but eventually I started to take all my vacations in France. And so during my travels in France and meeting all these vintners, I just found that the ones who were in the sort of the old rustic barns and had been there for 3 generations, they're just so charming and so inspiring. What I wanted to do was to make Pinot Noir and wines that would be typical of the Rhone Valley and Chardonnay, but also I want to make them somewhat affordable. It's interesting because in the Rhone Valley, Le Mistral is the big wind that comes through in the wintertime, and sometimes in the summer, and it cools the grapes, and they all know it. It's a big deal. So we found a term that related to a wind pattern that's very common to the Sonoma Mountain and the Petaluma Gap where we are, called anabatic winds. And so that's how we came up with it. We said, okay, anabatic winds, Anaba. And here we are with wind being our theme.
Here at Anaba, we're focused on Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, as well as Rhone varieties, mainly from Sonoma Coast, Carneros, and the Petaluma Gap.
A lot of Rhone varieties are grown in a little warmer climate, so we're pretty happy to make wines that are in a cooler climate, kind of similar to the Côte Rôtie region of France.
Sonoma County is a vast region that has lots of different microclimates, so it's really interesting to be able to make Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, as well as the Rhone varieties, all in one smaller bubble versus France, where those varieties are spread out a lot more.
Well, we have a small facility, small basket press, small open top tanks. So a nice little facility right here in Sonoma, and we also have the vineyards right around this area, as well as out on the Sonoma coast west of here.
When you do get to make small batches of wine, you're able to really focus on the details and make better wine. I think it's great here at Anaba that we get to work together as a team and all have our different viewpoints, and having John's experience of having been to France since the 70s and really having this passion to make this special wine and to be a part of that is great.
The 100-year-old farmhouse that's on our property just looked like it could be turned into a great tasting room. And it turned out, once we built the deck, and it turned out the views were fantastic, and we re-landscaped the whole place, and we got this cute little tasting bar, and we have vineyard walks out in the vineyards, private tastings in our salon. Usually we have events out on our deck because it has such beautiful views of the Sonoma Mountain. The focus is on wine. What we do in the tasting room, we're focused mostly on just sharing our wine experiences with the customers that come in.